As we count down to the elections, the polity is getting intensely heated up. In this Roots TV special, we speak with abundant Nigeria Renewal Party presidential candidate, Dr. Fasua, who gives his perspective on many issues, such as the withdrawal of Obi Ezekwesili from the presidential race and last Saturday's presidential debate.
Immediately after Obi Ezekwesili announced that she was dropping out of the race, you were all over Twitter and you criticized her so heavily. At some point, you even said she stole your spot. So I want to understand. Well, okay. What exactly did you mean, and why were you so upset with her?
I mean, she first of all, she stole someone's spot. I mean, the point was that look, she knew she wasn't going to. She knew she couldn't go the whole hog. She knew she didn't have any plans for the people of this country.
How do you know
I mean,
that?
it was just a ride. You know what I'm saying? That's what I know, because again, she actually, one of the issues I had with her was that, you know, a couple of days, just 2 days before the INEC drew the line on people who were going to run for president and so on, she got her people to call me, and they said, Tope, I thought that your party, you guys were strategic. I said, yes, we're strategic. Yeah, but you know you can't win. You know, why don't you drop for Obi?
All right, hold on. I need to get this straight. You're telling me that Obi's surrogates, Obi sent emissaries, came to you and asked you to drop out of the race so that you can support her?
So that she can run on our party. I asked them, you know, why didn't you then join us if you knew that we were this good? Why are you waiting for us to do all the suffering and stretch ourselves to the limit, and then you want to come in at the tail end and steal the show and run with the back?
But would you have done that for any other presidential candidate besides Obi?
I probably would not have. Number one, it wasn't my decision to take alone. It was an EXCO thing. So I referred it back to EXCO. As a matter of fact, it's just that we had an overwhelming majority who said, look, I mean, what's that about? A couple of people felt, oh, that would be a great idea. Why don't you drop for Obi? Because those are the naive people who don't know what to do with their...
But if the EXCOs of your party had asked you to drop for Obi?
Because it's their decision to take. You know, we don't run a one-man show. We don't run a sole proprietorship or anything.
There is actually an internal crisis going on in her party, the ACPN. I mean, immediately after she came out and said that she was dropping out of the presidential race, the national chairman of her party came out to say we had already fired her. I mean, we have issues, and of course they declare their support for President Muhammadu Buhari, and that is while she is trying to say she wants to work to create a coalition candidate who can stand against President Buhari and Atiku Abubakar of the PDP. So do you think this already existed? The inter-party turmoil already was going on, or intra-party turmoil was already going on? That's why she wanted to come to your party?
But well, she never had a party before she came to us, right? You know what I mean? So it was like she was kind of shopping around then. But
How long ago was this?
No, this is just about less than 2 months ago. I mean, when did she declare? You know what I'm saying? So she was kind of shopping around, you know. So I think we were one of those first set of people who they called, you know. But I felt that I was being bullied. There's another issue with the pact, and that's even perhaps more important, you know, because I didn't understand why she was going around being an umpire when you knew that you were going to run. And they wanted to drop Kingsley Moghalu. Listen, Moghalu is someone I know and respect. One of the few people in the field that I respect. You know, I mean, what's and all. Everybody has their own issues and their own faults and so on. But Moghalu, as at that time, had invested a lot in the process. In fact, as at that time, he had held more town hall meetings than any of us. I visited so many states. And there they came. They organized Pact, and Pact was a fraud. And I was involved. I was in there, but I saw it very early, and I ran. You know what I'm saying?
You know, the controversy surrounding the pact was something else, because I have heard this not just from you, but from a lot of presidential candidates that I've spoken to who seem to have a grouse with Obi Ezekwesili for being an umpire at the pact, and then shortly, like 6 weeks after, she started off and, you know, had a party of her own and decided to run. Some people found it as a betrayal, and now, just about 3 weeks to the elections, she's dropping out.
Can you believe that? I mean, can you believe someone cutting controversy so often, so quickly, so rapidly, you know? And apart from that, you know, I mean, there's even the rejoinder that she wrote towards in this very instance now. I see someone saying that, look, I joined the party 3 months later, I found that they can't change to what I want them to be because you felt that because
according to her, it was really about transactional politics.
You know, I mean, how dare she should have known. You don't go shopping around. You think that, I mean, there's that delusion of grandeur that because you are obvious, you get in somewhere and the whole party changes because of you. You should have known what the party was. You don't just jump in there. I mean, this also questions your decision making. You know what I'm saying? And then she wrote about her, in quote, legendary she wrote about our legendary accountability, and I'm wondering why someone would write about herself as a legend. It should be written about you, your so-called legendary whatever. But when you're writing about yourself, that's massive delusion of grandeur.
Let's talk about the debate.
Let me say quickly that the thing about the pact is also that it's actually not Obi's issue per se. Okay, one person in the pact, which is Fela specifically, basically, I got to know back end that Fela, the entire contraption was Fela's, Fela put it together. And a couple of guys in the pact, about 4 people. Okay, first of all, we had an issue with the fact that there were 3 people who came from ANN, which is Fela's party, in the pact. So initially I was looking at, okay, fine, there are 3 people from ANN, which is Ezekwesili, Elishama, and Fela, in the pact. And we were like 11 or 12. So, of course, simple probability, if there were 3 red balls in a bag, of 12 or 11 balls, and there's a fat chance that when you dip your hand blindly, you're going to bring out a red ball. Simple probability. What I didn't know were there were other 2 or 3 guys who were also.
Are you trying to say that Fela rigged hold on? Are you saying that Fela probably rigged the election in that pact to come out as a consensus candidate? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely, yes. And I want to face him up on this. And listen, we can't be talking about youth this, youth that, and then we're actually basically just scheming ourselves around. What's that about? And I said it then in pact that, listen, we need to go out and make this thing open to the public. Number one, we need to have open debate. And they kept saying, no, don't worry, we just choose among ourselves.
There's just so much to do.
And it basically, they made Kingsley walk into a sucker punch, and they almost ended that guy's political career.
All right, let's deviate a little bit. There are lots of things to talk about. We'll come back to this debate. But then Fela Durotoye, in a series of tweets, has also indicated that he is consulting with his people to decide who to support, either Sowore or Kingsley Moghalu. He's also thinking of creating a consensus.
He better not talk about me, though. We're friends. We're still kind of pals. You know what I'm saying? But look, listen, I'm not in this for power. Some people are looking for this power. They want to get it by all means.
But he's not talking about
it. Don't mind listening, but perhaps you have to believe the opposite. But I can't speak for him. I wish him luck. You know what I'm saying? But people are wiser. Okay, so I wish them luck. Listen, they're not talking about me. Yeah, I'm the guy that I'm actually not one of the so-called superstar bigwigs, right? But I'm focused, right? Listen, in the last 7 days, I've been to 6 states in this country.
So you're trying to say,
another 3, 4 in the next 5 days, I'm going to be in another 5, 6, 7 states.
Which is practically what other candidates have been doing as well, because it's just 3 weeks to the elections.
But shocked that many of them are not. Many of them are not. If they were, you'd have seen the pictures by now. And when you go there, you go and address nice little conferences. That's not what we're talking about.
All right. Still, I want to say on that.
You have to go in the markets. You have to go see the people. You have to get in touch with the people.
I still want to stay with the Fela Durotoye story. I'm sorry. That's pretty interesting right now, because you brought this up. You say that this is a person who probably rigged the pact election only for him to come out to say he wants to run, to help join or create a consensus candidate, either Sowore or we're talking about
Kingsley.
Kingsley Moghalu, thank you for that. But then you are talking also about the credibility of this particular man, and you're saying whatever it does is of no effect. Is that what you're trying to say?
I wish him luck, really. All I'm just saying is that, look, I feel slighted by how pact turned out, because I got involved in it. I thought it was real. I thought it was straight. I thought it was something about integrity. It happened not to be. It happened to have been a predetermined thing. That was what they did in pact. It was and let me also let you know, I have it on good authority that it was Fela that invited Obi into pact. How's that?
So let's
look at all that intrigue, So you invite Obi.
It's a lot of intrigue.
And then Obi then, look, it's just some sort of, and let me let you know, if you see the first response from Obi regarding what happened yesterday, the first response from her, you see her talking about this 20-year generational shift stuff, right? 1979, 99, and 2019. That is Fela's talk. She took it straight out of Fela's playbook. And so she's going to be supporting Fela, certainly not Kingsley, who she tried to shoot, certainly not Sowore.
Which makes it interesting, because Fela is already...
It's all about being so driven by the need to be a power broker, president thing by all means. not about the Nigerian people. I'm about the Nigerian people. I'm intervening in policy issues as we speak. I'm talking to government. I'm demonstrating on the streets on the issue
let's
of
talk about
budgeting and on the issue of GDP growth and all of that.
Let's talk about the principle behind what they're trying to do. Okay, this is an election season, and it seems like the major options before people right now, the two main contenders are the president and the PDP as candidates, Atiku Abubakar. But then there is a significant number of Nigerians who feel they should be more than just these two options, and that is what Ida Obi, of course, like she has already proclaimed. Fela has already proclaimed. I don't know about Sowore, maybe he is. I don't know about Kingsley Moghalu, maybe that's what is going to happen. Look into the future. Forget about PACs. Do you think this is a viable alternative, which is what the idea is? Could whoever it is, these people, these candidates bring up, could they be a viable alternative to APC?
Gloria, let's not kid ourselves, man. You know what I'm saying? The first thing is that this is real politics, right? A lot of the people who are saying, go give us 1%, go give us 1%, a lot of that's so naive. This is politics, right? And so in politics, because power is on the table, money is on the table, eventually, if you get into office and so on. And that's the way people think about that, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the people will stab their brother behind the back. And look, I can tell you that there's no coalition anywhere, actually. There's none. You know what? I mean, guys were promising I will step down, I will step up, I will step down, and all of that stuff. They didn't know that it wasn't even possible anymore to do that legally under the INEC rules.
And I think that was what was also funny about it.
That tells you again, their capacity for taking decision, for organizing themselves, for prioritizing, for acting on time. Their leadership capabilities are in doubt. If you don't understand that legally you can't do something and then you're promising to do that thing. So there is no coalition on ground.
A lot of things.
It's just guys are saying a lot of this thing just to look nice, to attract attention. You go on the Twitter, say I'm ready to step down for anyone when you know you can't even step down. Listen, the INEC cannot remove any party's logo anymore from the paper.
I don't even think INEC is Obi Ezekwesili is about removing the ACPN logo. It's about just saying she doesn't want to be the one.
You don't understand. That's not. Look, she threw that party under the bus, what's and all. If whether the party was whatever she said it was, and I felt, look, you can't go to get a mandate from a party, and then a few days down the line, you just wake up on the wrong side of the bed, and you decide to say this party is rubbish, this party is transactional, this party is this.
Do you think?
I'm sorry. The party is much bigger than a person.
I want to just we'll get there just a little bit, and then we'll veer off to the third P, another P in this pod. Do you think that her, I wouldn't say abysmal, I wouldn't say her not so lackluster, I'm trying to get the right words, performance at the debate, because a lot of people rated her as the least in performance. Do you think that could have affected her decision to say, let me pull out, maybe I'm not as good as I thought?
The truth, I didn't watch that debate. I'm going to watch it later on. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, the guys, the NEDG bond people, listen, I'm in court with them, actually. We're suing them, and we've
For what?
We've sued them for, according to the constitution of this country, all right, and INEC knows as much, and I also wrote INEC on that according to the constitution of this country and the electoral laws, in any issue of media, right, every party must be given a level playing ground. And they went against the constitution of this country. And I told INEC, I wrote INEC very clearly that this is the first salvo in the rigging of the election. By how did they prop up the three parties that were aside from APC?
According from what we heard, they took a vote.
There was no poll. Oh, where are the results of the vote? Except they concocted tomorrow. Except they concocted tomorrow. We've got a few jokers out there, some, expired people who don't understand that today, this is a day, the time when, even as I'm speaking now, anyone listening to me on this, by the time you post this on social media, whatever, they're fact-checking everything you say. We're in the days of fact-checking. Right. And then so you do a poll. You don't understand that the polls we do these days, when you vote for your man, right, you see the result. How is it going? And you're even watching. People are even checking to the extent that, listen, is anyone employing a robot to vote for them and all of that?
I was just about to say that that people do that.
So absolute nonsense, which they did. And so I put INEC under notice. We've written them, this gentleman, John Momo of Channels, was the chairman then. I think he stepped down now. I don't know if he can really step down and escape this stain, because he lent himself, his name and his brand, and the brand of his organization to this injustice against the Nigerian people. Again, all I ask is this: how can 11 people debates in 2015. 14 parties presented presidential candidates in 2015. All of them were invited to the same NEDG debate. 11 of them showed up. They had the debate twice. 6 people went the first time, 5 people the second time. And then it comes to 2019. Nigerian population has increased. The political parties have increased. The guys running for presidency have increased. Everything has increased. And then you wake up on the wrong side of the bed and you say, oh, it's only APC, PDP, and 2 other parties. Listen, if APC was not, if you did a vote and APC and PDP could not make the cut, they shouldn't be there. Again, every party is the same under the law. Maybe they don't understand. A political party is a franchise.
I see. All right, you are still watching our special here on Roots TV. And as I said to you, a lot of things happened yesterday. The second major thing that happened yesterday was that the appeal court upheld the candidacy of Donald Duke as the flag bearer of the Social Democratic Party. And that simply means that Jerry Ghana, I don't know what his options are. He probably is going to appeal that or go to the Supreme Court. I don't know. But then it means the SDP now has a presidential candidate, and that is Donald Duke. Now, Donald Duke is now back in the mix. How do you see that affecting everything in terms of, you know, the election going forward and even this possible coalition candidate they're trying to create?
Yeah, forget that. Listen, forget the frauds. That means just a bunch of people just deceiving themselves. There's no coalition anywhere. Right, everybody is going to run into that with their own steam. You get me? And we're going to see how it works out.
How do you think Donald Duke plays into this math right now? Because whether you like it or not, Donald Duke has a base.
Donald Duke is look. I'm very happy Donald Duke is back on board. I don't know whatever.
You preferred him to Jerry Ghana?
Jerry Ghana, how can some man who I've been hearing about since like 40 years ago be running for president? We're talking about new people running for president with new ideas. How can he be coming out of the blues? You know, I'm sorry, you know, but that's their party thing, right?
You're asking me to run for an elective office in 2020.
Running for president as well.
Me?
Absolutely.
Why would you?
35 years old, you know.
Of course, I'm more than that. I would be more than that even by then. But what I'm asking is, what is it about me that would even make you think I would run for presidency?
Yeah, articulate. You know what you're talking about. You think quickly. You know, you have a quick mind. You know what I'm saying. So, what else do you need? You know, so you bring your female as well. We need a female. Look, I say sometimes that perhaps until the day we have a female president in this country, we get straightened out. A lot of we African men get very distracted. You know, I mean, we have people in government coming with all sorts of prejudices, distracted on several fronts, and they take decisions based on some primordial emotions, which what I've seen is that women don't even have much time for that. You know, if we could be lucky to get a woman who is down and who has a great emotional intelligence, let's go for it.
This is the second time someone's asking me to run for presidency.
At the moment, Jerry Ghana of the SDP has gone to the Supreme Court to challenge the appeal court ruling which reinstated Donald Duke as the party's presidential candidate. Fela Durotoye has aligned with Kingsley Moghalu to create a coalition candidate. We expect so much more intriguing development as the elections draw closer. You can be rest assured that Roots TV will give you all the update. Stay right here with us. Follow our YouTube page and our social media handles for more.